Good morning. Good morning. I saw some comments coming in. Are we in the right place? Yes, you are in the right place. It is 10:30, and I just realized that when I wrote that comment, my caps lock was on. So I wasn't shouting with the lowercase g, if anybody caught that. I'm super excited as usual. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, Clay. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Mary. Everybody jumping in. I'm loving this. I'm actually right now, as we speak, I am trying to get you guys the file that I want. RC has the file too. Yes, Sarah Lackey, you are in the right place. Good morning, Ted. All right, as you guys keep coming in, I am going to. I gave RC the file, but I'm trying to put it on a nice looking link for you rather than the one that we were going to hand out. So what I need to do is I'm going to give you guys a really cool, think of it as a slide deck. My resource this week is kind of a slide deck of everything about vibe coding. We're going to talk about some cool stuff today. This is going to be a fun-packed webinar episode because vibe coding is one of those things that just gets me excited every time I go into it. Like, I enjoy doing it. It's almost like something I've done now as a hobby. I'm going to bring my colleague Delroy up here in just a minute. Delroy has been working with us for about 5 years. Brilliant person, and he's really taken like the whole concept of building apps, building programs, building websites, building widgets, right, to a whole new level. We've been doing the same thing in our company. We built a really cool moving calculator. I'm going to show you guys a moving calculator that we built. Delroy built a really cool program that we're going to show you today. And then we're actually going to build something live. Like, it's going to be a basic calculator widget, which is, not the most sophisticated program in the world, but hey, we only have an hour or so. And so I want to definitely get in and show you that. And RC, I see you back here. I'm gonna give you a link here in just a second. Actually, no, I'm not. We are going to put that. You can post the link that I gave. It's a very ugly Google link. I'm trying to put it up on a new page, but I can't do it while I'm doing the webinar. So the link is right there, storage.google APIs. It's a really ugly link. Yeah, here we are. Oh, and yes, if you're coming in through Alignable, D, it's fine. I'm just trying this. You probably came through Alignable and you're on YouTube directly instead of on our normal page. You can do that and you can chat and comment just like normal, or you can always go to the actual page. I just wanted to try doing it directly through Alignable as well, through YouTube. We can't put a registration page. I can't link somebody to a registration page on Alignable. So I was like, well, let's see if we can just send people direct to YouTube where we're live streaming. And so we did that. So I'm going to show you guys something. And then we're gonna get into this concept of vibe coding. So here we go. What if I told you that by the end of the session, you'll watch me build a working app and you'll know how to do it yourself, no coding required, no technical background needed, just plain English and an AI tool, right? So that's what we're going to do. So we want to set out a couple of ground rules for today as we go into this. And I want to talk about really what vibe coding actually means. We're going to build a tool from nothing. We're going to talk about pro tips and common mistakes. We're going to tell you when you should not vibe code or things you should not attempt to vibe code if you're not a software developer or programmer. But these are just really, really fun. Here's some other things. Things may not work perfectly on the first try. Vibe coding is all about iteration, right? You're going to do it and you're going to be like, no, it has to be better, or I need to add this, or can we add this feature or functionality? You're going to see the real process. So mistakes might happen today. Hey, it happens in real time. I'm not a programmer. I can't sit down, look at the code and be like, that's going to work. No idea, right? So by the end, you're going to have the confidence to try this yourself. So real quick, as we're getting going, Yes, if you guys, I love that you're saying hi and where you're from. If you're watching right now and you have not introduced yourself in the comments, please, please, please do. I want to know where you're watching from, and just so I know who I'm talking to. I do see a lot of my North Carolina people here. I love that. We're going to be bringing up a New York person here in just a few minutes via Jamaica, or should I say Jamaica via New York? I don't know. He's in New York. Greensboro, Dan in Lexington, Sarah, brand new connected to Sarah. Yes, Sarah, the other Sarah was talking about you yesterday. So very cool. I'm going to show you guys this image real quick here. I know I put it in here. While I show you this image, oh, that's a background. Let me see if I can do this. Go to solo. Can I do that solo layout? No. Okay. So it's not showing the image. All right. I've got some stuff for you. We're going to have some more links. And we will go. I'm really trying to get my Claude screen working for you here. We're going to do this today in Claude. Okay. Vibe coding is really just describing what you want in plain English, letting AI write the code for you. You're coding by vibe. What is vibe? It's a feeling, right? Not by syntax. You're not worrying about where the colons and the parentheses go. Historically, you would need to learn a programming language. That could take years, right? At least months, right? If you're really good. You need to memorize syntax and commands, right? Anybody take a computer science course in high school, you know what I'm talking about, right? Debug these cryptic error messages that come up all the time. The best software developers in the world, they're constantly dealing with 90% of their job is fixing the issues, the bugs, the errors, right? The old way would also be to hire a developer to do it for you, right? And that can be expensive. Now, am I saying we're marking the end of software developers? No, far from it. There is a massive opportunity. Software developers are just going to get better, but we're kind of leveling the playing field on being able to build your basic model, your basic prototype, whatever you want. So just by describing what you want, it's going to generate the code, and we're going to go through a conversation. So you don't even need to understand the code, right? As long as you can describe what you want, we're going to get it. So here's what we're going to do. First, I want to introduce my friend Delroy, and then we're going to work through some code. So let's get him up here. Delroy, good morning. There's that picture. I must have made it as a background. I'm going to hide that.
Morning, everyone.
You doing okay?
Yeah, doing pretty good.
Awesome.
It's cold in New York, so you guys down in North Carolina are pretty toasty.
Pretty cold in North Carolina today too, my friend. It was I think 26 when I left the house this morning. So Raleigh, we got Raleigh here, we got Winston-Salem, we got a lot of North Carolina folks here. We do have a Marietta, California person joining us. That's very cool. Anybody from further away than California? I don't think it gets much further from North Carolina and New York than California. So not in the US anyway. All right, Delroy, you and I have been working together for a long time, right? I mean, it's been at least 5 years. I brought you on.
One.
What is that?
I stopped tracking after one. At this point, we've known each other for all my life.
That's right. That's what it feels like too. We've got Germany in the house. Axel's here. Germany's in here. Calabash, North Carolina. Good. And welcome, Delroy. Sarah is saying welcome, Delroy. Heather, any fun comments? Go ahead and take care of those for me. But Sarah welcomes you. So let's talk about what you do as we go into this conversation of vibe coding, because I want to get your perspective on it too. I mean, every week I do these, I talk about the way I do things and my perspective. But I actually brought you on to help me as a WordPress developer, right? We were doing websites and you knew a particular theme called Divi, and I was using Divi for all my stuff, and that's what you did. But tell me a little bit in your own words what you think vibe coding is and why you get excited about it, because you're constantly doing it. You're constantly programming something new.
Yeah, so for me, vibe coding is one of those things where, like Jay said, I've been in the marketing, like web world for, almost a decade now, but I've never learned how to code the different programming language or anything like that. I've always wanted to, but who's got time for all of that, right? That's a whole degree all of on its own. So when AI became got to where it is to the point where now you can basically just go in and have a conversation, right? And it does all the work for you. Now I have vibe coding to me is basically having uh, a 50, $100,000 a year developer at my beck and call that I can just say, "Hey, I'm thinking about this thing. How do we go about building it?" And we just have a conversation. So, like it's funny because even my wife will be like, "I thought you were working." I was like, "I am. My developer is doing the job for me. I just told it what I needed to do, and now I'm just waiting for it to finish." So it's pretty fun.
Awesome. And we're going to show everybody towards the end after we do this live project. We're going to show I want to show some of the tools you're working on and what you're making. And I'm going to show a tool that I've built and probably not some of the ones I'm working on, some other ones right now. But I want to talk about kind of it doesn't have to be, you're not trying to build Amazon, right? We're trying to just build a useful tool that can help you in your daily life, in your work, in your productivity. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of examples. And the PDF that RC shared with you guys in the comments earlier, that actually goes through quite a bit of like some ideas that you can do. So let me just pull my screen up here. All right, let's go. So we're going to do a live build. One thing we'll also talk about, and I want to keep in mind that when we're talking about building applications, the one thing I want everybody to remember or think about is since you're not a software developer, I would not try to program things that have like sensitive account information, right? Don't try to vibe code an app that's going to log into your bank account and have access to anything, right? Don't try to build something where you're going to have medical health records of someone else or yourself go in there. There's too many security risks. So one of the things I would say when we're talking about this discussion of vibe coding is it's great to get you to a certain point, but if you have to do something at the enterprise level with secure, sensitive information, health, medical, legal, right, you often will want to, if that's a product you're trying to build and bring to market, you're still going to want to maybe get it started yourself, but you're going to want to bring on somebody who's an expert in development, software development, cybersecurity, to go through it with you. The vibe coding, we're not going into like building enterprise applications, but we're going to show you some cool real world things. So let me pull my screen up. Delroy and I'll drift off to the side here. So I'm going right into Claude. Now, I still code in Claude. Delroy, you still code in Claude. We both do it through a different platform, right? You're still using Claude code on the back end, right?
Yeah, Claude is the mecca of coding right now. No matter what anybody says, everyone has their own opinions, but I'm still a Claude person.
Absolutely. So what Delroy and I use a Google product, Firebase or Firebase Studio, and it has Claude's integration. So we're still coding in Claude. Now I'm not here to, this is 101. I'm only at the 102 level, so I'm just one step ahead of you guys. But I'm not going to show you that or that configuration. We're just going to build something here inside of Claude today directly. So here's what we're going to do. The main event here. So what we're going to build, and again, who knows, this could end disastrously, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to build a simple ROI calculator, right? We're going to enter an investment cost. We're going to enter the return revenue. We're going to see an ROI percentage instantly. We're going to make it a nice, clean, professional design. And why did I choose this tool? One, it was going to be pretty easy to build. Every business owner understands ROI. We could definitely build it in 15, 20 minutes, right? And I think it's impressive enough to show value, and it's universally applicable. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. So luckily for me now, I've got some prompts that I've already created ahead of time just so I could save some time with you guys. But what I want you to know is when you see what I put in here, I want you to just realize I'm just putting in plain English, right? So here's literally all we're going to put in here. Create a simple ROI calculator for small business owners. I want to enter investment cost, how much I spent, return, how much I made back, and see ROI percentage, net profit loss, make it look clean and professional, use a modern design with a blue color scheme, right? Any code there? No, right? We're just in plain English. And now we should be seeing here. It's going to just do some stuff. Look, it's coding for us. It's actually programming. It's writing the program in real time. Okay. So when this is done in just a few minutes, and it should take less than 30 seconds, we should actually see a working calculator.
Yeah, I want to say the first time I saw just this piece, when I first got into it, that was that. Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
I think I ran around a little bit. Just
you know what? This has given me a real respect for those programmers and software developers out there, right? Like I truly now get it, right? When people say, oh, it's thousands of lines of code. And I'm like, who sits and writes thousands of lines of code? That's what people have done, still are doing, right? So here we go. So this is what opens up in an artifact, okay, on the side. So here we go. How quickly is that? 30 seconds. And we've got a basic ROI calculator. Now, obviously there's some work to do here because it's not very pretty and bright here, but we're going to do a live calculation. So if I say that we invested $1,000 and we got a $5,000 return, okay, you see this graph jumped up as far as the return. Our ROI is 400%. Actually, is that actually accurate? Well, it's 4,000 net profit or loss is that 400% on that? I don't know. It's a 5x return on investment. I can see that. I would have thought it was a 500% ROI. So maybe that's not actually right. I'm not good with the percentages. If my father's on here, he's going to kill me later. He's an accountant. If he's watching, Dad, I'm sorry. But anyway, so we've got a live calculation, visual ROI gauge, right? 2 result cards here, a multiplier pill, and a dark blue theme. So we're not done. What's that, Delroy?
It is accurate.
Oh, it is accurate. So it is a 400% ROI. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we just went right through that. I've entered some test numbers. We can, now that I know it's accurate, we can say we'll do $25 and get a $5,000 return would be a $19,900, almost a 20,000% ROI, and a $4,975 net profit or loss, 200x return on investment. Okay. So here's what we're going to do though. We're going to make it better. All right. So let's just say, remember, all I've said to Claude was that first little bit, right? Create a simple ROI calculator. Now we're going to say, we're going to go into the iteration process. You don't need to know how to change the font size or add conditional colors. Just, we just describe what we want by doing this. Nice. Let's improve it. Again, having a conversation with Claude. Make the input fields bigger. Add a dollar symbol. There is one before the money input. So they already put that in there. So we could take that. We'll leave it. Add a clear button to reset. I like that. Show the result in a larger font with color. Green if positive. All right, it's doing that. Not red if negative. So that's actually interesting. Claude went ahead and did a lot of this for me, even though I was planning on doing it. So let's just go ahead and let's say let's do this. Let's go, instead of red if negative, let's go bright purple if negative. Obviously, you'd probably keep it green and red because that's like universal positive, negative. All right, so now it's going to update it in real time. Now, you guys might be thinking like, how do I use this? What do I do with it? Where would I put it? Well, if you wanted to build a calculator for something, and I'll show you guys my moving cost calculator in just a little bit that we've done for moving companies, you can, lots of ways. You can turn it into an app. You could put it as a widget on a website. So you have this interactive calculator on your website. You could build a quiz, right? Put that on your website. You can, I mean, there's so many ways you can use it. You can package it up as software. You can, sell it as a monthly subscription. So there's lots of ways, and we're going to continue to talk about that. So here we go. It's removing the old file. It's going to replace it. Here's the updated calculator. Here we go. Here's first error, failed to load file content. But all we have to do, instead of saying, oh no, we'll try it again. Well, it's still coding, so it's not going to load yet. So let's finish letting it do its coding here. While it's doing that, yeah, Craig, thank you. The first 1,000 gets you back 0. Okay, got it. See, you guys are smarter than me. I love that. Thank you, Craig. Let's put that up there so everybody said that was why it was a 4,000%. Thank you, Craig. I would love it as we're doing this. Put in the comments if you're watching. If you were like, "Whoa, this is so neat," right? Put in the comments any questions about something you could build, like, oh, could it build this, or how would I build this, or oh, the type of business you're in, what you would like to have. I would love those questions, since we're not, entirely interactive, but I am running off of your comments. Tell me your thoughts on what you're going to build, because by the end of this, I'm going to challenge you. At the end of today, I'm going to challenge you to build something and post it or tell us about it inside of our Facebook group. Heather, can you or RC put the Facebook group link in? If you guys are not members of the AI for Small Business with Jay, the AI guy Facebook group, we're going to put a link in there. You guys can join that group. And I would love to see the results. So let me come back over here to Claude here. All right. So it tells us that bigger inputs, they're much bigger now. 28 pixel font for easy entry. Bright blue $sign sits in front of each input field. So they did improve that. They made it brighter. There's now a clear button, right? And then color-coded results, green for positive, bright purple for negative, with text glow for extra pop. The gauge bar, multiplier, pill, and stat cards all still follow the same. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do, we'll do that same exact one. We'll do 1,000. And we'll do 5,000. Right? So here's our green, tells us that. But if our return was $500, there's our bright purple. It's given us the graph to show us the midpoint is 0, that we're in the negative, a negative 50%, minus $500. We took a loss there. And if we want to start over, we can hit clear and we can start over. One thing, let's go from that. So let's actually, so we're going to add a feature that would actually be useful to this, right? So we have this so far. Now we're going to say, can you add a section below the results that shows break-even point, how much revenue needed to get to 0% ROI, the time to double investment, assuming the same return continues. Make these in a smaller secondary section labeled insights. Okay. I probably don't even need to be using extended Opus, but that's okay. Also, if you're in Claude and you're doing this, Opus is a great coding model. Delroy, is there any other model than Opus that does a good job of coding to you?
No, Opus is a better, since they released the newest ones. That's the one that I stick to for the most part.
one of the things I like looking at here in Claude too is the way they add stuff. They give you, it's almost like a coding ROI calculator. They tell you which things are getting added to the code. That's this plus number that keeps going up, and which things are being removed from the code. So there's like a plus 179 and a minus 11. And then it's going to give us the updated version. It's going to give us a break-even point, time to double, contextual tip, which is a subtle italic note at the bottom that adapts based on whether you're profitable or not. The section has a clean accent bar. Try playing with different numbers. If you enter 10K invested in 12K return, you'll see it takes 5 periods to double. Okay, so you could do that. So let's do that. Actually, we have 10,000. Well, you got to put it in.
While you're doing that, you mind if I answer a few questions I'm seeing?
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it. I've been doing this here, yeah.
So to Sarah, yes, those things that you're asking for, the fields for fees, travel costs, and printing costs, literally like you see Jay doing, you could just ask for those things to be added, and it would be added in, and all the calculations would be, you could explain what the calculations are like. So if you have special calculations you're trying to do, just explain it the way you would explain to any team member of how you do it, and Claude will take it from there. And then in regards to your other question, Claude is the platform, and then Opus is just basically the brain behind it, right? So they have like different brains that they use, and one is stronger than the other. So Opus is the more powerful version of that brain, basically.
Yeah, if you guys see what I'm sharing on my screen right now, it says Opus 4.6 extended, but there's different models. And I know in previous weeks I've talked about, the different models that Claude has built in, but it's just the same program. And there's Sonnet and Haiku are the other ones. Sonnet is really, really good if you just want to chat. It doesn't use as much of your credits, which if you're on a paid plan, you don't really worry too much about it. But and Haiku is just kind of a really quick, Haiku is like the quick model, right? Yeah. Opus is definitely the one that's going to do the best coding, right? And they keep updating. Like you could still use Opus 4.5. I'm using Opus 4.6, but you can change the model right in your chat, right? So here we go. So now we built this, and we're showing a 20% positive return, right, on our 10,000 with 12,000, $2,000 profit, 1.2 return. Break even point was $10,000 to get to 0 ROI. And the same rate of return to double at this rate of return, it would take 5 periods, whatever that period is. If it's month, if this was your return in 1 month, well, man, tell me where that investment is. I'll go do it right now. If it was a year, right, then it would take you 5 years to double at the exact same rate. Right? Does that make sense? So, okay, so we've gotten that. Let's see. Here's what I want to do now. Let's see if we can do something that wouldn't work or might throw us an error. We'll see if it gives us an error. Yeah, it's not going to show if you put 0 or let's try this. -23. Oh, it doesn't allow for negatives. Well, good. It's my I can't even break my thing now. It won't allow me to put in a negative. Well, good. Okay. So let's see if we do 0 and 0. All right, so that's just going to show 0. It's actually a pretty good calculator. But here's what typically would happen. You get type of infinity error. So we're going to put in a validation, which it looks like some of it already has a validation. And the other thing I want to say is also when loading, make sure the default amounts because you know how I was putting 10,000 as the investment cost and I think 15,000 as the return. But that looks like it's already in there. So let's are clearly just a placeholder. All right, so just plain English. And some of this might already in there because you got to have valid numbers. I didn't try putting in a decimal point, but that should still work. All right. If you get an error, right, you don't need to understand the error. The best thing that we can do, and Delroy and I see this all the time, when we see an error, we copy it. Like the computer gives us an error, we copy the error and we paste it into the chat and say, I'm getting this error, right? Can you fix it? And AI will fix it. So let's do, I'm going to clear this up. Looking at some other stuff too. So Fred, Opus 4.6 inside of your, if inside of your Claude account is Opus as a model, right? So it's not, I don't know what the cost per credit is, but if you're on like a $20 Claude plan, you can pretty much code a lot of things. You may hit a daily limit. It's all in your Claude settings, but you get a lot. You know, it's not like you're going to code this program and it's going to cost you, you know, $7,000 because you didn't know what you're doing. Claude's going to tell you, it's going to limit you. Yes, thank you. Opus is part of your subscription. So there you go. There you go. Delroy, did you just put that in there?
Yeah, I just typed it in.
Perfect. Sarah, you had said, where do you store, keep this calculator once you create it? Well, you can keep it right. If you're going to be using it yourself, you can keep it right inside of Claude. You can make it, you could even create a project, right? And call it calculator or the artifact, right? Claude uses these as artifacts. You can also embed it on your website. So maybe there's a special place on your website that you don't want to give access to that link. Maybe you just put it in a folder. You could, I'll show you guys that in a second. We could say, because if I go to the code here, I'm in preview mode. Here's all the code. You can actually just say, give this to me in an HTML file so I can embed it on the website, and it'll just tell you exactly how to do it and package it up for you. So here's the last thing I want to do. Now that we did this, it put in some error messages. It clearly defined EG 10,000, made it grayed out so you know that you have to put a number in here. And let's see what else we got. So 21.23. Oh, so no decimals are allowed. Oh, yes, there is. 21.23 and 100. Here's your ROI, here's your investment, your net profit, break even, 21. Okay. At 371% ROI per period, you need 0.3 periods to recoup and double your initial 21. So it's gray, but it's down here and put a little bit of like what that actually means. So 0.3 periods is the less than a third. Haven't really seen any error messages. It's probably not going to let me put, there we go. Enter your investment amount to get started. So if you try to type something it doesn't allow you to do, I tried putting in my name. I tried putting in J. That actually gave us the error. We need a number. We need an investment amount. So that's pretty cool. The last thing I want to do on this one is kind of really polish it off. I know it says ROI calculator at the top, but let's do just a little final polish here that would say, we'll take this one out. All right, small text helper under each input field, make it mobile friendly, add your branding tagline. All right, I'm not going to worry about the numbers. Built with Journey Builder AI tools, right? If you guys are just for the first time meeting me, Journey Builder is our platform. It's what we service and sell and provide people. It's got about 100 tools under the hood. So that's why it's going to say built with Journey Builder AI tools. Otherwise you'd be like, well, why is he saying built with Journey Builder AI tools? Maybe you don't care. It's okay. All right. So here we go. It's still doing its thing. So it's going to tell us failed to load. It's trying to reload. What happens is it tries to reload periodically. And if the code isn't finished being built, that's why it's failing to load file content, because it's still working. All right. So to answer your question, again, going back, Sarah, so you can copy the code and put it on your website. These artifacts here, right? They're called artifacts. You can download it or share it if you want to make it publishable. You could take screenshots of it and use it for presentations. And you can also keep iterating, making it better. You get a new idea, you want to do it, but you can. I'm going to show you guys how to copy the code from Claude and where you can put it on a website. And then I'm going to go over some pro tips, and we're going to show you some examples. Go ahead, Delroy.
I was going to say you can publish it, and Claude will give you a link that you could save and use, anywhere.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Once this finishes its thing here. Somebody had in the comments too, and I'm looking at, there was a comment earlier. Somebody had, Monty, I need a way to check for houses to invest in and provide a list that meets my criteria daily for me to review. Yeah. I mean, I think if we told it that, so there's a thing called, and this might be Vibe Coding 101.5. There's a thing called a PRD. I think it was a project research draft or document project.
Yeah, product requirement doc.
There it is, product requirement doc. See, Delroy's way more advanced at this. Product requirement doc. Sometimes we'll build a product requirement doc. So you'd tell it and you'd be like, ask me any questions, but we want to build this product requirement doc before we go and actually have you start coding. So that would be something you could do that in like another model of Claude, like Sonnet, right? And you get this document, then you take it and you code in Opus. It's a way to, when you're doing a lot of this like heavy stuff, you can use up credits and limits and it can cost you some money. But I mean, you could build a really wildly elaborate program ultimately for, a couple $100. This isn't costing me really anything. I'm getting this in my subscription. Like I haven't exceeded or came close to my token limits with anything I've done today. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. All right. So here's our calculator. Know your numbers. It put these little tool tips down here. I don't really love the dark color with the light. So I might want to change the colors, make it a little bit brighter, because it's hard to read. Here's my built with Journey Builder AI tools. I could make that a link. Like anything I want to do, I can tell it to do. But I can also say, how can I install this on my website? I probably didn't need to run Opus for that, but it's okay. All right. So while we're, actually, that was really quick, actually. Just drop this into your components folder. Here it is. Site HTML, WordPress, Squarespace could work as Wix as well. Convert it to a standalone HTML file. I can do this for you right now. It would bundle everything into a single HTML file you can embed with an iframe or drop onto any page. So if you have done any website stuff, a lot of your tools you'll be able to put in a custom code element or an HTML element, right? And that's all you'd really need to do. You could take it, copy it, and plop it right in there. It's quite simple to do there. All right, and it's asking me if it wants me to create one that you can use, and that's fine. This JSX is a type of file. It's a React JavaScript file. So here's some pro tips real quick. I mentioned some of these already, but I just want to go through them, and then we're going to show you some real examples that we've done, and then talk about next week. Answer any questions. If you guys have questions, keep them coming in the chat, and I'll get to them. I'm not seeing them exactly in real time, but all right, start simple. Don't try to build Amazon on day one. Start something you can describe in one paragraph. Again, Monty, exactly what you said, put it into Claude. exactly that. And it would say, ask me questions or help me build a PRD, right? That product research document or requirements doc. Be specific. Make it look good is vague. Use blue colors, modern fonts, and clean spacing is specific. Okay. So don't try to make it look good could mean it's infinite possibilities, right? You could give it your colors. I want to use my brand colors. Here they are. You know, the hex colors. You know, hashtag D2232A. I know that's my red, right? But iterate in small steps. Don't try to add 10 features at once. One change at a time equals better results. I am guilty of breaking this rule all the time. I'm like, ooh, and I want to add this and I want to add this. But what I do is I say, here are things I want to add. Let's start with the one you think is best. That is something I've actually said to Claude, right? And there's been times that I've said, ooh, and it needs to have this, and it needs to have this, and it needs to have this. Go, right? So you kind of watch out on that. If you see something you like online, like a design, take a screenshot and say, make it look like this. Maybe there's an aesthetic you like or a color palette you like. When something breaks, copy the exact error message and paste it to Claude. AI can usually fix it. I found that to be true over and over and over again. All right, common gotchas. The AI will try to build whatever you ask, but simple equals better for vibe coding, right? So try to get elaborate over time, but do it in those increments. First output is rarely perfect. The magic is in the iteration, as I just showed you, right? Like, I still think this would be iterated more. I think, like I said, these numbers are too light. Can't really see. Well, this is okay. But these tips here, a little bit too light, right? Maybe I don't like the dark background. Maybe I wanted a lighter background. So we continue to work for that. Just saying, make it better isn't going to work. But if I said, make the clear button bigger, it would, right? Trusting without testing. Always test your tool before you share it with customers. Always, right? So let's move on. I want to show you guys some fun stuff that we've actually built. So let's see real quick. Sarah, what are the dangers of asking too much? Does it stop, stall, shut down? It can. It can. If you ask too much or you try to make it too big up front, it might time out. It might throw errors. You might actually hit a daily usage limit with Claude, right? When you hit that the first time, you're like, wow, I am really knee deep into this stuff. And I've hit those limits. And it's like, you can't do anything else till 7 a.m., right? Okay. I don't really hit that anymore on the plan that I'm on, but you can hit those. All right. Delroy. First, actually, let me show the moving calculator. Then I want to show Delroy's stuff. So something that I built. I may have shown this on a previous webinar. I may not. I don't quite remember if I did or not. So we have an affinity now. We like to, we're trying to work with some moving companies. And we're like, what would it look like if we could put a widget on there? And I call it widget if it's going to be embedded on. So that's just, if you're like, what's a widget? You know, it's whatever you want to say it is, right? But we made this tool that we can put on a website for a moving company, so that if somebody's looking for a moving company because they need to move and they just want a ballpark estimate, the moving company would love to be able to have an AI tool that generates the estimate price range and then say, like, this is a ballpark estimate. If you want us to come out and give you a quote, click here to book an appointment on our calendar or call us. Here's the phone number, right? So I'm going to show you guys that in just a second. So what we built, I built the actual widget. And then I was like, well, if it's black and white and the moving company, their colors are green and yellow, and they put it on the website, it may not look very good. So I went a step further. This is where we talk about iteration. First, I built this little widget, and then I was like, ooh, we need to give moving companies a configurator, right? A configurator so that they can change their colors, put their name in, make it look like it matches their brand. then they'd want to install it. And then we have to give them a way to install it. So I built this. It took me probably, well, it was over a period of days, but I would do like an hour here, an hour there. I think this probably took me a total of, say, 8 hours to build this. Okay. And what we have here is I can say that the moving company, see how it says your moving company right here? If I call this Sarah's Movers, you see how it's changing over on the right hand side, and then professional moving, leave that. Now you if you go down here, it says 4.9 rating, 500 plus moves, right? Well, down here, and you can put in your DOT, put in your address, you could change these things. You do have to put in a name. So I can put in, I can put in my name here, puts some, hey, everybody knows where I live now. It's fine. But if I'm a great moving company, 4.9 stars, but let's just do like 4.8, right? And we've been around for 40 years and we've done 10,000 moves, right? It changes it in real time. Then up at the top, I have colors. Well, I don't really want black. I want whatever this, whoa, I don't want that either. Kind of like this kind of purplish, pink, fuchsia, some similar thing, right? And then the accent color, you can change that too, and that would show up later. But then I was like, ooh, but you have to be able to get those leads that come from the website into some way, right? So we did a couple of different ways. We actually have a CRM integration. So if you use a CRM like Lead Connector, High Level, Journey Builder, you can actually connect it through an automation. If you have a booking calendar URL, maybe you have Calendly or something like that, you can put it here to put, because I'm going to show you in a minute when you get through this, how to do that. But you guys get the point. And then you give it a source. And we got email notifications. You can put in your email, and anytime somebody fills it out on your website, you get an email like, hey, got a new lead, got a new lead, got a new lead, right? And then if you're doing like a chat, you can do a chat or text option. Also, well, how do I know that the ballpark estimate is going to be anywhere close to what I would charge? Gotcha. Got that covered. That was one of the most important parts. What's your hourly rate? Do you charge per pound for long distance or interstate per pound? If you're going to help them pack, how much do we need to increase percentage wise? If there's stairs, how much do we need? These are percentages down here. If it's July and everybody wants to move in the summer because the kids are going to go to the new school, they didn't move in the middle of the school year. Well, if it's peak season, how much more do we want to increase that up? And it will adjust. It will do all the calculations so that when it gives the quotes, it comes out perfect. And then we have an export, and you can download the HTML like I was just showing you earlier. You download the HTML, you put it on your website, boom, you've got a calculator that works for your business. It's that simple. So if I wanted to show you guys what it looks like, let me go pull one up real quick. I thought I had it pulled up already, but I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Here we go. All right. So this is what the person sees on your website. Obviously, you have your website, but we're going to do a long distance move. We're going, this is actually, we got to do interstate here. We're going from North Carolina to New Jersey, right? We're going to click continue. Oh, 27301 0705. Continue. How big is the home? Oh, I've got a 3-bedroom home. I want to move on March 31st. I don't have stairs, but I need packing help. This particular one I had configured 15%, but the default is like 25. And then continue. All right, we're almost there. Now give us your name, Mr. Website Visitor, who we don't know who you are, because we're going to want to get your contact information to give you this quote. All right, so I'm going to make Delroy. Whoops. I was going to say Delroy. I'll say Delroy M. And we'll say Delroy at testing.com. Whoever owns testing.com, I feel bad for how many emails they must get from all these people. All right, and then get my estimate. Oh, thought it was going to take that number. It's going to calculate it. Here you go. It's going to cost you between $4,800 and $6,900 for an interstate move of 3 bedrooms. This is preliminary based on the numbers that we gave it earlier. And then look at this. Book your free in-home estimate. So that will take you to the calendar link. Download a PDF of this ballpark estimate. Call us now. I could have added the chat now button. If I had put in a phone number, it'd be a text button. But that's it. Meanwhile, on the back end, that person's information has now been sent to the moving company so they can pick up the phone and say, hey, I saw that you just filled out the quote on my website. Want to see if I can help, book a time to come out and talk to you, right? Like lead generation, calculator, boom. I built this. I built it. I don't know how to code. I built that, right? And now we give this away. We give this thing away to moving companies. Like here's a widget for your website. It's like yours. I don't even charge for it. So as a lot of people say, Jay, how do you ever make money? You're just giving stuff away all the time. Yeah, well, that's what I do. So that's one that I built. Now, Delroy. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Delroy has built a ton of cool tools. And you should have the share option at the bottom. Let me see if I X out of that.
I think so.
I'm going to answer a question while you're doing that. When, if ever, may I expect to learn to create an app or find a way to make my internet characters walk and talk and move around as I desire? Believe it or not, there are a lot of apps out there that can help you with that. If you have like an internet cartoon type character, like I have with Jay, the AI guy, you can make them talk now, and there's several tools out there that can do it. One of them we're actually going to do a deep dive on soon called HeyGen. HeyGen is cool, and if I have time, I'll show it to you. But hey, why not start trying to build one, right? So, all right.
Can you
Delroy?
Are you seeing my Authority Forge?
I am seeing Authority Forge. So
okay.
Tell people what this is. And you built this whole thing from the ground up, vibe coding.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't have a degree in coding. I've never done, well, up until this point, I've never written myself a line of code, right? What I have done is, since learning that, I can use AI to build whatever I want, the way I explain to people is, if I can imagine it, I can probably build it. I'm in Claude all the time, just saying, hey, I have this idea. Am I crazy? Like, I really will have that conversation. Am I crazy to think I could build something like this? And I will say, to this day, it hasn't told me no yet. Sometimes I think it's just telling me what I want to hear, but it's done it. So to start off, using what I've learned over the couple months of using AI to vibe code stuff, I have built out a few platforms. 3 of them we'll talk about today. One of them is Authority Forge, which is essentially an AI-powered SEO and content engine. Now, part of my background is in SEO, and we had a process that we've used for years now to help small business to rank their website, rank their business online. And recently I was like, well, what if I could take that and create a system around it that I could either give to businesses that want to do it themselves, or make it easier for my team as well, instead of doing, because right now we would go into our different tools and we would type something in, and if we're doing Claude, we would have our different prompts that we use. But this system has taken everything that we usually do manually, and we built a system around it. Now, this is not vibe coding 101. I will tell you that. This is not something that we could do in Claude, but this is just to tell you, we do use Claude on the back end to build out the platforms. So like I said, we have our processes. One of the things that I'll say that I couldn't tell you how this works. I just told Claude I wanted it. And that was what we called Brand Brain. And basically this is like a visual map of all the information that we fed into it about a brand, and AI has taken all of that. So there's AI at work in the back end here. AI has taken all of that and created a connection network in the background.
So
That
let me just pause you right there so we don't
yeah,
get too ahead of anybody,
true.
because
Yep.
we did
Yep.
have somebody asking, like, what is SEO, and so
Oh, but yeah.
what Delroy is doing here, what he's done is he's taken a lot of topics about this brand, and what the AI did was the AI made this visual map of how they are all interconnected and drew like this neural diagram for it, right?
Yeah.
So it takes all his sources. So what this product is designed to get people to is better content on their website, right? That is going to help Google and Bing and any of the search engines rank you better. So it's for blogging, it's for writing on your website, it's for content. So sorry, I just wanted to pause you there so
No,
I can
you're
just
good.
give a
You're good.
little more context to it.
Yep. But yeah, that's the gist of it. It's basically a content tool, but it's using the stuff that we charge a lot for on the back end. We've now built a platform around it, just that we can at some point, give out to people that want to do it themselves. Right?
And Delroy, I saw this platform yesterday
Oh, it's
and I
changed.
see what's in there today, and I have to applaud you and say thank you for joining us on no sleep last night.
Yeah, the thing is, and I will say that's one thing that I've found out with going down this journey is, like Jay said, right? You find that it's so easy to, as you think about it, you're just like, well, can we do this? And can we do this? And I recently said to someone, I have to figure out a point where I just stop
Mhm.
and just, this is the product and we figure it out later. Because again, AI has not told me no yet. Right? So it's a slippery slope in a way.
Mhm.
Um, there's this. The other one is a bit simpler. It's literally, I thought about it. I was chatting with AI as I do, and it gave me an idea about a consumer advocacy platform. And basically, all it is you've like it says down here, your Comcast bill went up by $40 and you need a script to talk to them about. Your Delta flight got canceled. Basically, something happened. You want to get some sort of either letter or script that is based in at least available laws online or facts that you can find, but you don't know how to go about advocating for yourself to say, I want my money back, right? You come in here, you explain it in plain English of what's happening, and you get out something like this, where there's AI on the back end here that will analyze your situation, decide if you need a letter or a script, a call script, so you can call them up, and it will give you basically the language that you can go ahead and send out. All right.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, and like I said, this one was just like, I was chatting and it said, "Hey, this is a cool tool to build," and I was like, "All right, let's do it." Um, and I will say, a day later, it was ready to go. Uh,
Yeah,
you know, and then this one here, and I'll actually
this
uh,
one's so awesome.
demo this one. So basically, I work with a lot of med spas, and one of the things with any business is that, like Jay's moving widget, calculator widget, we also thought about the fact of like, what is a way to generate leads for a med spa. And so we built a tool that we call Facializer AI. And basically, what it is a visitor to the website would be able to upload a picture of their face, and AI will take a look at what are some of the visible things that it sees and give you a recommendation of how you can go about fixing it. But the nice thing is, this is built with the med spa in mind, so they can put in their services in the back end, and the AI will not give them any recommendation that med spa doesn't offer. But it will also not just give you recommendations just because it feels like it can, right? So we put some barriers in the background to make sure it's not just saying, "Hey, you should do this," just because this med spa offers it. If nothing fits, it won't give you any recommendations. So
And let me ask you a question there, because I love this one and I did it. What the AI gave you like the analyzer? I mean, how does it analyze it based on a picture?
So, Claude can't. Claude can a little bit, but basically on the back end of this, we're using another model called Gemini, and Gemini can read pictures. Like
We've
can
talked
see,
about it. Yeah.
yeah,
We've
all the
talked about Gemini a bunch.
right, all the different things that are going on, right? So it breaks it down into code, but it can see, your face, right? And from that, AI knows pretty much anything on the internet. So it knows, okay, I see some crow's feet here, or some fine lines here. What's a service that we see that this med spa offers that can help with this thing, right? So it's kind of just seeing what it sees and then gives you a recommendation based on that.
And right? Where does that photo go? Does anybody get that photo?
We don't save it for comfort. We don't save any of the photos on the back end. It basically uses it, deletes it, and then gives you your recommendation.
So cool. All right.
Yeah,
you're getting a lot of good comments, like on these tools. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I'll give you a quick demo here, so you'll see. I'll put up, and I will tell you this. This picture was taken. I'm 32 right now. This picture was taken. This was my engagement picture, my engagement shoot.
So he was 14. Everybody, he was 14 when he got engaged.
So, of course now. So I guess I can't give you a demo. I forgot that I didn't add that piece in. Give me a quick sec. I'm gonna stop sharing for a little bit. Jay,
go ahead.
I'll fix.
No, you're good. So yeah, while you're pulling that up, because I remember you sent me the mobile version of that, and I did it right from my phone. I think it was the same one. I know it was analyzing a picture. I'm going to go over, while you're pulling that up, I want to talk about a few things. Do you need to learn to code to do this? No. And that's kind of the whole point of this, right? You describe AI codes. If you can explain what you want, you can build it. Delroy mentioned that a few minutes ago. Now, for what we're building, simpler tools, the code is perfectly fine. If it's a complex production app, you'd want a developer to review it. So know your limits, right? Know where you're going. If you want something more complex, like we've talked about, start simple, then iterate. You can use it as a prototype to show a developer what you want. It's really good for the MVP, the minimum viable products, right? Claude is my favorite tool. You can do ChatGPT. They have, I think it's Canvas, right? So they have a platform that it can code. Can you make money with this? 100%. You can either build internal tools that save you time equals money saved, but you can also sell your tools to other people. Just know what you're selling. You can use databases and saving data, but you be careful with that. Sometimes you might want to use it, and you're going to need tools for that. So there are other platforms like Lovable, Replit, Firebase Studio. So something about that. And putting it on your website, we talked about that. And I think,
all right.
Yep, that's it. All right, so go ahead, Delroy, and then we got some questions.
So I'll show you real quick before I'll go back. I'll refresh this so you guys can see it from start. So drop that in there. You'll see it starts to analyze. It's scanning the skin texture, analyzing hydration level. I'll tell you this, when I was building it, it hit me with a bit of truth.
Did you feel triggered?
Yeah, I was building it and I hadn't I think I'd just woken up, didn't wash my face yet, didn't do anything. And it told me that I had dry lips.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, okay. Guess you don't care about my feelings, but all right. So I'll say Delroy whoever owns test.com or
testing.com, whatever. Yeah. Meg, thank you so much. I love to see that. I appreciate you.
All right. So you'll see.
Can you expand it a little bit just so it shows better on the stream? It might be a little too small for some people.
There's a few things
that
didn't pop up here. And that's the nature of AI, right? You gotta
absolutely.
Iterate, right? But you'll see it basically pulled in a few things here where it says like positive note, your skin has a wonderful naturally, luminescent, all that stuff. Then it tells you early expression lines, maintain firmness. And as you can see, like I said, because none of the services that I put in on the back end of this as the med spa for the tests matches anything that they offer that would help me. Didn't give me any services, just told me what. But the med spa still got that information from the lead gen stuff, and they could reach out because
Right.
they wouldn't see the picture, but they would see the results that was given by the AI and the contact info. So they could reach out and try to book a consultation, or that person would go ahead and book their own consult, download the report, whatever.
That
Um,
is super cool.
but yeah, and that's pretty much my presentation on stuff that I've built. But, like I said, the main thing is like with any of the apps that I've built, it all started out with me going into Claude and just saying, hey, I want to build this thing. Ask me any questions that you have about this platform I'm trying to build, and you know let's figure it out. And a lot of times Claude will ask me questions that I'm like, I didn't think about that, but yes, I would like to add that in, right? Or that does make sense. Let's figure out how we would go about doing that, right? So the main thing I would say is, in terms of like starting out, like definitely your expertise is the biggest factor. Like AI is really just a partner in all of this. It's just there to help you to build out what's already in your head, right? So if you can think about it, if you can talk about it, just go in there and say, "Hey, I want to build this thing.
That's
Let's
it.
figure it out."
I love it. So Fred Sutherland was asking how much for a med spa to use your website. So Fred, if you want, just reach out and I'll connect you to Delroy. He's got a great program for med spas too. We can connect you guys for sure. That's always a nice question to get when you're just presenting. All right, we had Meg said, can you use a program that tells you what county you have to report certain things and combine it to a widget that we could have in the back office? So in yours with your nonprofit, I suppose, yeah, you could do that. You could, if somebody's reporting something online, you can have that data get sent to you. It would be pretty easy to build. I bet you could build it in a couple hours, at least the very basic one, probably in 15 minutes. But then what'll happen, like Delroy said, and this is my favorite part, if you tell Claude to act as like a software developer or a software engineer, and you say like, hey, ask me any questions, or if you have any questions, just ask. Right? I've talked about that on previous weeks, where you ask the AI like, hey, if you need more clarity or stuff, just ask. Claude will start asking you like, what about this? Or have you thought about this? Or here's an idea. We can take this and we can do these 4 things. And
Yep.
you might be like, I never thought about that. Oh my gosh, that would be so useful.
Yep.
And you start to do it. So
That's how I really go down the rabbit hole, because
yeah,
I start out with one thing, and by the time I'm done having my conversation, before I've even gotten to the PRD doc, we're already like 5 features in, because Claude was like, well, have you thought about doing this? Or this would be a cool thing to do. And I'm like, all right, let's do it.
absolutely. Sarah said, if you're building for an MVP, how do you protect IP? Well, if you're in your own account and you're not, if you're just building it, I would timestamp it. Make sure you have that in your account. As far as somebody going in and stealing that intellectual property, I would definitely want to do things the way you normally would. Like if you're going to be sharing it with somebody who, there's an opportunity for them to take your intellectual property, you might want to have an NDA to go with it, and just make sure that, if you're going to show it to somebody, you go ahead and have them sign that. Right. Meg, I just want to follow you around on my day off and learn from you. Not creepy at all. You're so funny.
And the other thing
Absolutely. Yeah.
is,
Go ahead.
the other thing is too, if you're building these, because I've looked into this as well, is like you can trademark your stuff, right? Now you can't trademark functionality because you have 1,000,001 CRMs that all do the same thing. But you can trademark your your name and what it does. But the other piece in terms of like if it's like a process that you do, building an app around it is probably the easiest way to protect your IP because, like I said, Authority Forge, yes, anyone can go online and be like, I have a, a AI tool that writes articles, right? But we have a process that we've built out over the years that we know, by following this process, we're ranking businesses left, right, and center, right? And we've kept it close to our chest. Now we have a platform that we built around it that basically does all the things, but it still doesn't tell you what was done, right? It just does it for you, right? So our IP from a process standpoint is protected because it's not giving away anything. It's just giving you the ability to get access to the same process that we've been doing, but there's no way to really like steal it.
Absolutely. That's a really good answer. Hey, my team on the back end, if you guys can put in, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, I want that link. If you guys could put that link in there, join the Facebook group. Here's what I want before we end this. And if anybody has one or two more questions, thank you. I see the link in there. You guys join the Facebook group. We're building a community around here. If you're on Alignable, and you're watching this on YouTube, and because I did put a link to watch this from the Alignable platform, just go there. I would love to connect with you. But here's what I want to do. So before you go and jump off of here today, I'm going to have one more thing posted. RC, go ahead and put that vibe coding starter kit PDF in there. I'm going to try to put some more resources on Facebook as well. But I got to get this comment back off of here. All right. I want you guys to, first of all, that resource has, it talks about Claude, talks about ChatGPT, gives you a little bit of ideas, some templates, and some ideas for what you could build in your business. But you guys have to, run with your own ideas for that. And then your homework, if you so choose, is to try to build something simple this weekend and post your results in the Facebook group, right? I want to see what you're creating. Don't build something that you're afraid is going to be, your IP is going to get stolen. Like, just try to build something fun for your business. Anybody could have something, right? And if you're not sure, say, hey, I want to just practice vibe coding. I want to try out vibe coding. Ask Claude, say, can you give me a couple of potential small projects that would be good in this industry, and put your industry, right? Give me some good ideas. Claude is we've talked about it. It's a great strategy and planner, strategic planner, right? It's like having the best strategic planner right next to you. And then I would love to see what you guys create. And then the last thing, if there's no other questions here, is Claude platform we need to purchase to do this? You can use the free version. You're just gonna be very limited as far as like how much you're going to be able to code. On the $20 plan, it'll be like, I think it's like 5 times as much, but you'll probably hit some timeouts or hit up against a wall and I say, this is as much as you can do for today on the free plan. ChatGPT, I'm not sure what the token limit's going to be on that, but you can just go, and try it out. Right. Claude Code is on the free one, right, Delroy? Claude Code's available on free, isn't it?
Not entirely sure. You might need the $20 for that, but I will tell you, unless you're doing the level of coding that I'm doing,
yeah,
the first platform I built from start to scratch, from start to complete on the $20 plan.
Yeah,
it wasn't until I got like really into it that it started to limit out. But yeah.
All right, so here's what I want. First of all, thank you guys for spending Friday morning with us every week. I love this. RC just put the link for next week's webinar. As we do these every Friday. Next week, guys, I mean, I have been building up to this, the anticipation. Like this is my everything. This is what I'm very passionate about. We're going to be talking about Notebook LM. I've talked about it in previous weeks. I've kind of shown a little bit of what it can do. Next week, we're going to go into more of the features. The whole thing is just going to be on using Notebook LM. It's a Google product, has Gemini built right in. We're going to talk about things like source grounding, which is where all of your assets, your IP, your documents, your website is the only thing that it can look at. You're building your own AI model in Notebook LM, and then it can create assets based on that for you. We're going to go through it. I am coinciding with that Friday's free webinar. I am almost done with the first module of a course on Notebook LM, a very big deep dive into how to build your company notebooks and how to use Notebook LM in your business. It is going to be a paid course. I am going to talk to you about my paid course next week. Just full disclaimer, I never sell anything on these webinars, pure value. So I'm going to ask for forgiveness in advance. I'm building something. I'm putting a lot of my heart and soul into this. So you guys are going to be the first people that get to access it next week, but I'm going to give you enough to get started on the webinar, just like we usually do for free. Are these sessions recorded? Absolutely, Sarah. Every session is recorded. And when you registered, you're on the list to get notified for replays. I always say register, even if you can't make it, because you get the replay link. Yeah. And you can have the recorded session. They're all also on YouTube afterwards, and we're loading them all on our website, so there's several places you can get them afterwards. So yeah, you can always grab them. And we've got next Friday Notebook LM, and then the week after that we're going to be talking about AI assistants, like assistants that can answer the phone for you after hours, or during hours and have conversations, or assistants that can book your appointments for you, have a conversation and book an appointment right on your calendar without while you're at your kid's soccer game, or while you're with another customer, or while you're sleeping, right? We've had our AI assistants for our clients have booked over 3,400 appointments for their clients since April of 2025. So in less than a year. And we're going to talk about that 2 weeks from now. Then we're going to do some more deep dives into some other AI tools. So every Friday, we're trying to do something fun and exciting. Every Friday, we're trying to do something that is going to make you say, where is it now? Here we go. Every Friday, we're trying to do a workshop that's going to make you say, Jay, I just want to follow you around on my day off and learn from you. That's my goal. Like that right there, Meg, you summed it up. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Delroy, thank you. You are more than just a colleague of mine. You are a true dear friend. I appreciate everything you have, and what you're doing right now with this stuff made this presentation so much better and so much more valuable. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. Well, guys, listen, I'll keep Delroy up here as we say goodbye. Dan also wants to follow me around. Maybe there's a service in there. Maybe I need to follow Jay around and learn AI service. But yeah, guys, if you need anything in the meantime. Oh, hey, one last thing. You guys want to learn how to implement some of this stuff in your business? Like, did you think this was cool? And you're like, ooh, I've got an idea, but maybe Jay can help guide me a little bit deeper. About to be put in the chat link is a booking. You can book a 15-minute, we keep it to 15 minutes, 15-minute coaching call with me. I'm not going to sell you anything. I mean, I might, if you want to buy something from me, I will gladly, won't say no, but I will tell you exactly how I would help you, or where to get started, or where to go, or I might pull up my screen and just show you some stuff or give you something. I've given out so many resources just from those coaching calls that we made on the spot. So that link just went in the chat. Thank you, Heather. If you guys want to book a 15-minute coaching call with me, click on that link, book it. It'll be sometime in the next 2 weeks, I promise. And just put it on the calendar, and we'll meet in a Google Meet setting, and I'll share everything I can with you. I'm out of breath. Delroy, thanks again. Everybody, thanks for joining in. I hope everybody has a good weekend, and I can't wait to see what you guys build this weekend when you put it in the Facebook group. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk on the next one. Take care.